Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karamavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we are going to see today the lakshanas of a wise man. What are the defining features of a Buddha, of a man who knows himself, or a woman? Okay, a person who knows himself or herself. What will be the qualities? Qualities is not the word. What are the defining features? Okay. What is the distinction? What is the difference between a definition and a quality? The quality is like see, you cannot say the quality, the heat is the quality of the fire. It is more than a quality. The heat defines fire. Understand? It's a feature that defines fire. The color of the fire can change. It can be a blue flame. It can be a red flame, yellow flame. There could be many different colors, yeah? If all the same, but different. But it is always hot. So that is called the definition. You can think of it as a quality. So similarly, you say Satchidananda. So existence is the quality of the Atma. No, it's not a quality, it is the very Atma. Atma is existence. So, or consciousness is the quality of Atma. It's not that the consciousness is sitting in the Atma in a corner or anything. The whole Atma, the self, is consciousness. Happiness is not a property of Atma. Happiness is Atma. Ananda. Ananda is not a quality of the Atma or the self. Ananda is Atma. When there is no obstruction, you are happiness. Happiness is not a part of my being. Happiness is the whole being. So you cannot call these qualities. Like heat is the very being of fire. Without heat, she doesn't exist. That is the defining feature. So similarly, what are the lakshanas or the defining features of a wise man? That is the discussion now. Because what happened? Arjuna asked Krishna a question. How does a wise man, what is the description of a wise man? How does he sit? How does he talk? How does he walk? Krishna did not fall for that. He didn't say that wise man has a long beard and a big gown. And he sits in Padmasana or has like this Rudraksha, big, so I've seen that some of these talking very big Rudraksha, they have huge beads, walking like this also. We have seen all this drama in Rishikesh and other places, you see that. So there is a way you can project yourself like larger than life. And people will say, yeah, he's a wise man. But it is not about the get-up at all. That doesn't mean that everybody in a get-up is not. People sometimes have a get-up. But what is the proof? If these defining features you are able to recognize in somebody, then most likely he is a wise man. Arjuna wanted to know, and Krishna is going to answer. So see, this is an amazing thing. This is how a Buddha will behave, in a sense. So if you and I wanted to recognize a Buddha, by these features, maybe you will know. There's no guarantee, because I may have other persuasions. My brain can be absorbed with other things in life. And then there could be a Buddha around me, and I will not, as long as you are not looking for him, you won't find it. So somebody said, instead of asking me, who am I? What am I? First, you should know what is God. Then maybe he's around you, you don't know. Maybe it is you. So what is it? That's a good question. Who is God? Where is God? Where is God? They're asking for the address. What if he is around you? He just could be your neighbor. And so first you know what is God. Then you will know then you will know where he is. So we sometimes we are not able to know the reality because we are asking the wrong question. Understand? Wrong question. If we have, how are we going to find the right answer? So what am I? What is God? Is a good question. So these are some defining features of. So he says, Prajahati yada kaman. This is verse number 55 in chapter 2. We are at the 14th. This is the 14th verse in our long. We're supposed to have finished how many? 25, perhaps, per week, 14 it is. So if you'll cooperate, we will. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Prajahati yada kaman Sarvam Partha Manugatan Atmanye Vatmana Tushtaha Sthita Prajnastadochyate. So Prajahati, he gives up. Jahati, Prajahati, gives up what? All the kaman. Kaman is a longing. I want this, I want this, I want this, and there is a little pressure there. I want this, I want this. Those are called kaman. It's a plural. A intense desire. Not a harmless little something that I want to go have some pizza today. That's not going to hurt you. But without this, I am nothing. That kind of a desire we have for things. Yeah. So those kaman, as they are born in him, sarvan prajahati. So as the binding desires appear, so they are given up by him. Why? In the wake of understanding that I don't need anything to make me whole. I am already the whole. So my happiness doesn't depend on a desire. Okay. That's amazing. You can have a desire. After knowing this, you can have a desire. When you know that your happiness doesn't depend on it. So prajahati yada, when he gives up all the kaman, as they appear, manogatan, as they occur in his mind, he is able to give it up, prajahati. So a desire rises in the mind and it is renounced. Another desire rises in the mind and it is renounced. So whatever manogatan, whatever desires occurring in his mind, they are given up by him at the same time. You can also add as something that will make me complete. Right? So that as a binding desire. Prajahati yada kaman. Sarvan, all of them without leaving out one. Sarvan kaman, all the thirsts, all the longings, all the obsessions, all the fixations, all the attachments, okay? They are the intense forms of desires, you can say. They're all given up by this person as they arise. So basically, who is always busy with this self-observation. and the something occurs in the mind, and it is not able to disturb him. He is able to renounce it the moment it occurs. Atmanyevatmana tushtaha. And Atmani, in the Atma, Atmani, Atmanyeva, Eva, Atmani plus Eva. In the Atma itself, Eva, indeed in his very Atma, Atmani. Atmana, by his own mind, Atmana. Atmana, by the mind. Atmani, in the mind. So in himself, in the Atma, in the self, with his own mind, tushtaha, satisfied. That his mind has come to a juncture that he needs nothing more than his own self, Atma, tushtaha, satisfied. Satisfied in himself, by himself. So his mind and intellect have got merged in this me, the Atma, the true me. So that person is called Sthita Prajna. Arjuna, he is the one whose prajna, whose knowledge has become steady. It is not a wavering knowledge anymore. It is Sthita Prajna. Tadochyate. That person is called Sthita Prajna. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manugatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha sthita prajnastadochyate. So very nice. So if you see somebody who is attached, who is obsessed, who is possessed, who is after possessions, who is after attachment, then you have the God-given intelligence with you, your neurons are firing. Such a person doesn't deserve to be, you cannot say he's a wise man. He won't be struggling like everyone. Karma might be happening to him, don't go by that. Karma could be coming from another place. But as he is in the midst of karma, he doesn't lose himself like another Jose. He's free. And that freedom will show like this. His capacity to not be disturbed by the desires rising in his mind. Why? Because generally people go after these desires because they think they will complete me. So they go after them because they have a sense of smallness, and this will make me complete. I'm small, and if these desires are fulfilled, then I'll become acceptable to me. That very understanding is due to ignorance. And that is not there in him. He is happy with himself, in himself. So a desire, he may go for it, but he doesn't see it as a means for fulfillment. Yeah, that's all. Anybody who sees it as a source of fulfillment, they need to question the self. Then we thought we will discuss some yoga kind of verses, because the whole class is full of yogis. So that the verse number 58 has something to do with yoga. Yada samharate chayam Kurmongani va sarvashaha Indriyani indriyarthebhyaha Tasya prajna pratisthita. So prajna is self-knowledge, understanding. Prajna is pratisthita, very well established. Of who? Tasya, of that person. You can say, if a person's prajna is pratishtita. If his understanding is very, very solid, well uh, established, not wishy-washy knowledge, not wavering knowledge. When can you say that? When yada samharate chayam kurmongani va sarvashaha. So you're all yogis. What is a kurma? A turtle. Kurmasana, Sukta Kurmasana, all that. So Kurma, the turtle, when he senses a danger, what does it do? All the four legs, they go inside the shell. And then the head also goes inside the shell. And then the outside is just the shell. And you can kick the shell, nothing happens to the turtle. This is a very interesting one. So I've been lucky enough to travel the last few years. When I go to Italy, Connie has turtles in her backyard. So these little guys, they come. They're very cute, these little turtles, they're amazing. And they just, all the angas, all the limbs, they withdraw within. Kurmaha angani iva, as though iva, like a kurma. What does he do? All the angas, it withdraws unto himself. They all go inside. Why? Whenever there is outside something, he senses a danger. It doesn't mean that we do it when this verse applies to when we are in danger, but we are saying that he is able to do that. So just like that, what does a yogi do? He is able to withdraw his senses from the sense objects. So if you are smart, I asked you, out of the 8 limbs, which limb is being discussed here? Very good, pratyahara. Yeah. Because we're talking about withdrawing the senses from the sense organs. So, Svavishaya asamprayoge chittasya swarupa anukaraha indriyanam pratyaharaha. So when the sense organs are withdrawn from the objects of those senses, eyes are withdrawn from the colors and the forms, ears are withdrawn from the sounds, the tongue is withdrawn from the tastes, and when it is withdrawn, how? Like a kurma sucks in all his limbs. So, this capacity to withdraw the senses, it helps the person later on to master the senses like they were just servants. So when I want to see, I can see. When I don't want to see, nothing will be able to make me see. That is how the master-servant relationship should be. So I should not be able to force you to see. Then you're not a good master. The servant has overpowered the master. The servant decides when you will see. Servant decides when you will hear. Then who is the master? You're not the master. So here he says, this yatha samharate, when he withdraws, I am this yogi, this man. How? Like a kurma. Withdraws his limbs. Sarvashaha, all of them. Similarly, he indriyani indriyarthebhyaha. So similarly, this wise man is able to withdraw his senses from the sense organs like this. Because he has done a lot of pratyahara previously. Indriyani indriyarthebhyaha. Then we should know, then we would know that his prajna is pratishtita. It is very well established, his knowledge is. So, mastery over one's sense village and the mind is necessary, because generally the mind and the senses of a man are taking him for a ride, and he loses control, and like the horse carriage which goes off the road, it can fall into a gutter also. So he's someone who knows how to keep his horses on the road and in his control. Suppose you lose the reins very loose, then the horses go all over the place. The mind should also be mastered. So for this chariot to remain on the road, the horses should be under the control of the rider, as well as the reins should not be too loose. Also not too tight. If the strings are too tight, the guitar will break. Strings are too loose, no melodies will come from the guitar. Yeah? Strings are too tight, also no notes will come. It will break. Strings are too loose, there is no melody. So that is the middle path. The horses are mastered, not controlled. So then you cannot move. That would be also not a good attitude towards the senses and mind. But suppose anything goes and whatever you want, just... So you understand this verse. And then we have these next two verses are some of the most profound. So they really tell us what happens. What happens. I call it, for my own understanding, these next two verses, I call it the anatomy of desire. Okay? The anatomy. You know how the yogis love to go to an anatomy class? So they love, if anything they love more than the practice of yoga, they want to know the names of all the bones and things like that. And this is, what are this tibia and whatever. Also chakras. Chakras. Chakra. Sansara chakra. That's the chakra to know all. Now there's no need to know all these chakras. The sansara chakra is the one we don't know, and we are going in this chakra. I want to know my chakras, Kundalini. What is this? Chakras and Kundalini. It's a mess, I tell you, because these labyrinths, they are labyrinths of confusion. People have been traveling in them for eons. And why do you want to go back to this confusion? When the clarity is available, why do you want to live in confusion? So they come to Mysore and go for this healing and that healing and pranic healing and past life healing and regression. Already there is so much confusion in life. Why you want to exacerbate that confusion? I thought you came here for yoga. Asanas were supposed to heal your body, and pranayama was supposed to heal your physiology, your breathing, and some meditation, and maybe my classes were supposed to heal the mind. I don't know. But instead of that, people get into a chakras and kundalini. And it's just complete. I tell you, even if there was some truth to this chakras and kundalini, this is not the way it will come and reveal to anyone. So, you know what? It's very simple. If one doesn't live a life of yamas and niyamas, it's not going to open at all. You cannot force, even if the chakras were true, you cannot open them without living a life of... If you live a life of himsa, if you're not alert about violence, then they will remain closed. Whatever that is, I don't know what they are. I don't claim to know what they are. And people who claim to know what they are, they also don't know what they are. They think that chakras are equal to the glands. So this is pituitary, and this is pineal, and this is thyroid, is Vishuddhi chakra. So gland is something which secretes some liquids, yeah, or some doctrines. That is what a gland is. The gland is not a chakra. Chakra is something very subtle, unseen something. The gland is available for recognition. The scientists recognize what a gland is, but the chakra, nobody knows. Krishnamacharya, the guru of Pattabhijoyas, and the guru of BKS Iyengar, and the guru of his own son Desikachar, and the guru of almost everybody, he's the Parama Guru. Guru of the guru is called the Parama Guru, okay? What are we going to do? What are we going to call Krishnamacharya? I thought, in my mind, he was the one. Anyway, so this Krishnamacharya was once asked, this is a true story. This is not I have a lot of made up stories, but this is not a made up one. So somebody asked Krishnamacharya that, sir, you have been in the Himalayas for so many years. He lived in the Himalayas for years, decades actually. He was from here, Tamil Brahmin, I think, Krishnamacharya. But he spent a lot of time up there in the Himalayas, beyond Rishikesh, and maybe Uttarkashi and so on. So in so many years of living in Himalayas, you must have run into great yogis. And he said, yeah, one of them was my guru also, this Ramakumar, Ram Mohan Brahmachari or something. And so did you ever meet an expert in Kundalini? Somebody asked him. Do you want to know his answer? Do you want to know what he said? He responded with a question. He said, sir, have you heard of alchemy? You know alchemy? I'm sure you all know alchemy because did you read Paulo Coelho and The Alchemist? There's an alchemist, who used once upon a time, there were people who knew how to convert iron into gold. Sitting in the lab, they could convert by some chemical processes. They could turn iron or some other metals, the cheap metals. They could convert it into gold. It was not easy, but they could do it. They were called the alchemists. So he said, sir, do you know alchemy? Yeah. Once upon a time, there used to be alchemists. But today, we don't know what is alchemy. Suppose somebody knew, he would be overnight, he will become a billionaire. He will just sit there and turn all the iron in the world into gold, and he will become the Jeff Bezos or even beyond. He will become the richest man on the earth. But nobody knows. Even if we know something, it's a cost-prohibitive process. To turn iron into gold is going to perhaps cost you a lot more than it's worth. So therefore, he said, sir, it is exactly like alchemy. Nobody knows what is Kundalini. They're just blabbering, writing books, but nobody knows. Just like we lost the science of alchemy, we have lost the Kundalini Vidya. These are words of Krishnamacharya, not of an ordinary man. A man who is extremely respectable for what he has done. So there is no point in going for all this. Yama Niyama is where it happens. If one was committed to living the Yama Niyama life, then you don't bother about Kundalini. Let it open. Let it stay asleep. Why you worry? But just if you don't live a Yama Niyama life, it will not open. And if you live the Yama Niyama life, then don't you care. You don't care whether it opens or not. Why are you worried? That's the yoga. In fact, the third chapter, that's what is happening. Patanjali says very clearly, to go for these siddhis, they don't walk in. They come when you don't go for them. When you go for self-knowledge, they may come. If you go, it's that you make them your goal. If you pursue them as the objective, then they don't come. And if you are serious about self-knowledge, you don't care whether they come or not. That's the thing. So we go for bhakti, and we go for yoga, we go for meditation, we go for living a yama-niyama life, and then if it doesn't happen, let that be the will of God. Yeah, Ishvara will take care of us. So even that is also not. Is the most important thing is sincerity of this pursuit. So he says in the next verse, as I said, this is the anatomy of desire. How does it? So you can also, instead of anatomy of desire, you can say this is how the person keeps on roaming in the samsara. This is like a very nice way of seeing how the birth happens, how the death happens to a soul. Okay. And why she remains in the gyrations, coming and going. This is very nicely explained. So, dhyayato vishayan punsaha sangasteshu pajayate. Verse number 62 and 63. Thank you for reminding me. So, chapter number 2, verse number 62 and 63. Page number 41. Okay, the top two verses. And in our discussion, these are the 16th and the 17th verse. Dhyayato vishayan punsaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho vijayate krodhat bhavati sammohaha sammohat smriti vibhramaha smriti bhranshat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati. So see, dhyanam means meditation. And here the word is dhyayataha. So when you think about something, see, a person told me like this, that everybody knows how to meditate. Everyone. It's just the object of meditation differs. Everybody knows how to meditate. So somebody can meditate on money. A lot of people know that how to do that very well. They can think about money for 2 hours. It doesn't stop them. Nothing stops them. Or another person could be thinking about a person for 2 hours and complete in deep meditation with his or her beloved. So that the thoughts are just, you don't have to do anything. You meditate. Or suppose somebody has a very intense dream. I want to become the president of, these are also offered by the psychologist as tricks that you should visualize. So you visualize that you are winning the gold medal in Olympics, then your chances of winning it increases. Visualizing. So dhyayataha, by contemplating vishayan on various objects. Vishaya is an object, vishayan is the plural. Dhyayato vishayan. When a person thinks about an object, then the contact is born. Sangaha. Sangha is you want to come in touch. Teshu, in those objects, upajayate, it increases or it brings upajayate, it gives birth to a desire to possess that object. Let me tell you, see, suppose you are walking every day from your home to office, right? Let us say you are doing that. And you have to walk through a market, right? And so there are so many shops and every day you're walking there, yeah? And there's so many objects in these shops, you are not bothered. You don't even look. You just keep walking. But let us say there on the way, daily there was a shop there and you didn't worry about this shop for a long time until one day in the window of that shop you saw some very fine earrings. They were just hanging there and it was not a trouble for some time. You didn't even see them. Then you saw them one day. That is called dhyanam. You saw, yeah, I thought, and then again you saw them, again you saw that, right? Now this is just seeing. But then the me thought, me. So the me wanted to have these earrings, sangha. Suppose you had never seen the earrings, then you will not go inside the shop and say, yeah. So you know what happened? Sangasteshu pajayate. A desire is born that I, me, would like to be the possessor of these beautiful earrings. I would like to have them. Nothing wrong with the earrings, okay? Please enjoy, buy some more. I'm just saying, this is how we are looking into the nature of how the desire is formed. So then you know what? You enter the shop. One fine day when you couldn't take it anymore, you really look, this looks really nice. I would like to have these earrings. And like that you kept on every day you looked. One day you will walk into that shop. So what happened? Dhyayato Vishayan Punsaha. Punsa is a person. Sangasteshu. And then there will be a desire for Sangha, contact. Or to be with these earrings. Upajayate is born. Then Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha. And then you know what? You go inside. Can I look at those earrings? Which one? The one that is in the window? Oh, he said, sure, man. And then he is all happy. He just goes and pulls out exactly. He knows that is the one that will attract people. So that's why it was there. Anyway, he will show. And then he will put a mirror also in front of you. And then, yeah, please try. Even if you didn't want to try, yes, okay. And you will ask, may I try them? Yeah, sure. And then you try. And then you look at your own reflection in the mirror. So, some people say like that. I'm not going to say you don't love the earrings. You love yourself with the earrings on. Okay, understand this. I love myself as the possessor of those earrings. So, Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha. So due to coming in contact or this, and see how it happened. First, I contemplated on these earrings. Then I came in touch, Sangha, with these earrings. And then see what happens to the desire once you see yourself in the mirror with those earrings on. It becomes a kama. It becomes a longing. My God, I want these earrings. I want only this one. I know there will be 10 others around you, but they are also equally good. But you don't want any of them. And then you found, this is the exact moment you find. You said, so with great trepidation, you asked him, so how much are these And then he knows already that he has sold. You are sold. The earrings may not be sold, but you are already sold in the process because you have looked at it and he saw the expression, how you were enamored with yourself with the earrings on, and then he will quote a price. Obviously, that price is not going to be easy to afford. And then you know what will happen? Kamat krodho bhijayate. You will become angry. Krodha. Krodha means anger. Why the anger? He has just obstructed your desire to possess those earrings because you realize you can't afford them and you will perhaps even curse him under your breath. You son of a... And you did all that. Why? Because anger. Really? No, it's not that much. It can't be 200 euros. I thought this was 50 or something. Man, this is how... If you want 50, I can give you another one. You know, he's got... So he wants to show you. You're not interested at all now. So, kamat krodho vijayate. So, a obstructed, a frustrated, a mutilated desire turns into krodha. Kama itself is krodha. In other place, Lord Krishna will say, Kama eshaha, krodha eshaha. Kama itself is krodha. A unfulfilled desire itself is anger. Anger is not something different. It's the same rajas. Rajo guna samudbhavaha. It is born out of the rajas guna. The agitation, the frustration, the anger, which turns sometimes into violence and so on. It's all made up of the same material. Kamat krodho bhijayate, krodhat bhavati sammoha. And you know, this krodha, it gives birth to delusion. So when you are anguished, how can this be so expensive? Why you are selling it for such a huge price? And you know what? One becomes completely deluded, fixated, obsessed with those earrings and obsessed with them. God, I have to have these earrings. Nobody can deny me from getting these earrings. If it's a question of money, I can make that money. First, I'll ask my dad. Maybe he will buy me for a birthday. But if not, I am going to make that money. And you are deluded because now nothing except those earrings will make you happy. Your life is devoted to those earrings. You've got to have them. Whatever is needed, the same little piece of earring that you had never seen before has become a question of life and death. Understand the human mind? This is called sammoha, delusion. Not just moha, delusion, a good, a sammoha, a great delusion. So, krodhat bhavati sammoha. So very well deluded. Sammohat smriti vibramaha. And due to this sammoha, there is a loss of oneself. Smriti vibramaha, confusion, self-confusion. Who am I? Confusion. So who are you in these moments? You are just someone who wants to be the possessor of earrings. That's all. The life ends right there. Nothing else is necessary. This is my life. This is what I want. This people die at the altar of these things. Don't think that this is just... you can see the intensity of it, how the humanity lives the life. And then they blame God. That why God made so much suffering in the world and why there is so much strife and confusion and sadness and death and old. And so if this is what you want to do, how can there be any happiness? So by fixation, living a life of fixations and obsessions and delusion, how can there be some clarity and happiness? There is no possibility. So attached one lives, and attached one gives birth to tremendous anger in one's life, frustration, and fear also. So suppose you, with great effort, you made the money. And now, remember the first day you saw the earrings? And now that you have the earrings, could be a few years, right? The gap between first seeing them and finally being the owner of those earrings could be a few years. And during those years, I have become very attached to these earrings. So every morning, there is fear of losing them. So, my God, I don't want to lose these. I don't want to leave them in the restroom of the yoga shala. I don't want to lose my wallet on the dining table, in the kitchen. I mean, on the table in a restaurant. So the whole day, I'm walking around with my iPhone 11 Pro, and I'm worried about losing it because it costs a lot of money. So fear. That's it. So what happens in this? The thing to observe is, if this is my way of living, then the happiness is not in this attachment, anger, fear. So buddhi nashat pranashyati, and he dies as either the desirer of the earrings or desires as a frightened possessor of the earrings. Either way, buddhi nashat, because of this self-confusion. What is the self-confusion? He was the ocean of Ananda and died as the ocean of delusion. Okay? That this thing will solve my problem, that thing will solve my problem, earrings will solve my problem. You know, earrings is just a metaphor for what happens in a certain way of life. So if one wants immortality, then attachment is the very antithesis of want to live a life of free from fear but continue to have attachments. Then how is it possible? Want to live a life of attachment, you want freedom from anger. Not possible. As long as there is attachment, there is going to be fear and anger. So buddhi nashat pranashyati, and likewise buddhi nashat, due to the destruction of buddhi. There is no yoga buddhi. There is no samatvam buddhi. There is no understanding of oneself. So buddhi nashat. You can say yoga buddhi nashat. Because he's living a life of attachment and aversion, the death comes. Suppose instead he had the yoga buddhi and he lived a life of equanimity and dharma. Then he can walk out of this prison. But that he didn't do. So when buddhi nashat, by losing one's better judgment, the alertness and awareful life was not there, pranashyati, the one self-destructs really. So this is the real destruction, because otherwise one is infinite. One is infinite, but dies into the labyrinths of attachments really. This is the verse, very profound. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.